Hi everyone, welcome to Deadline Dilemmas. Pras, how you doing?
I'm all right. You tell me, how was your week?
Not too bad. I think I finished on 66. It could
You
have
kept
been.
Isak. You listened and you kept Isak.
I kept Isaac. I mean, I wasn't. To be fair, I was at one stage flirting with it, but I thought I'm gonna leave it, Pras. I thought I'm gonna leave it. I mean, it was a bit of a bit of sweet, as they say, because it was against my team that he smashed in
Yeah,
that gorgeous goal and got the assist. So it's a weird one in the back of your
but it
mind. You're
was a
like, okay,
gorgeous goal. I mean, you
an
have to give him.
incredible goal. Yeah,
I mean,
incredible. Like,
and he could have had a penalty. He had like a couple of times he
yeah.
could have assisted goal. I wasn't expecting 11 points, but we take it. And now we have a good player who's about to give us the prize that he dropped back, I think, hopefully in a couple of days.
I was, really impressed with him, Pras. I've got to be honest with you. Good performance by him. In fact, a good performance by Newcastle and a poor performance by us. So, in a way, I think that was the correct result for the game. But it feels like a loss how we conceded in the last 2 minutes. So, yeah, frustrating. But
Yeah.
66 points, as I said. There's some you're going to see my team. What the mistake I made this week? Oh, was it mistake? I benched Pedro again, and he returned. I benched him for Raul Jimenez, who
Oh.
I personally thought Praz, he was the minutes okay. You could argue there, but I thought he was predicted. I thought he was going to get more points. I thought Fulham would win, and that
Mm.
pot was correct. But I didn't expect him not to start. That got me.
I mean, this game week was the one where people didn't expect. I mean, there were so many surprises. Like tonight, there was Son, there was Pedro
Yeah,
Porro, there was Raul Jimenez. Yesterday, it was a laundry list. Like Chelsea played their B team plus Palmer. I mean, you had the Arsenal surprises with Gabriel, Calafiori. Man United rotated completely, like not completely, but a lot. Like no
a
Rashford,
lot.
no
Yeah, a
Ahmad.
lot.
Um,
How
you
about
know, just
Chelsea? The whole squad. I've never seen a
exactly.
goalkeeper was rotated. Price.
I mean, they were
So
basically using their Europa League or Conference
they
League squad, basically.
did. They did. Yeah, that was a bit of a yeah. But so, yeah, as I said, I could easily look at the negatives. I'm going to take the positive this week because it's been a bit of a brutal season. I'm going to try and take the positives, Price. So, how was your game week? Let me guess. 100
So,
points.
nah, man, I had a red
Man.
arrow this week, but I'm actually happy. It's one of those weeks where I'm happy because the red arrow was because other people got bench points. I didn't get bench points. Like I got
Okay.
Greaves for my Gabriel, but if you look at my players, like Raya got me a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Eight Nuri is highly owned, did nothing, fine.
Yeah.
Rico Lewis came on for a cameo, which was disappointing because if you think about it, Gabriel, his team kept a clean sheet. Rico Lewis, his team kept a clean sheet. Both of them didn't play or
I
came on.
know. I know,
So
Price.
that was disappointing. But defense is fine. So what was the killer was people getting Mikolenko's points and me getting Greaves instead. So basically that was like already like a 11-point gap that I've given to people. But I
Yeah.
feel I've made it up in obviously Isak. I've made it up with having João Pedro. So I think what is my score, man? 60 something. 63. I think
Yeah.
63. 62. And so that's okay. It still gives me a very small red arrow, like on
That's
55k. So it's okay.
That's not too bad at all. I've not even checked my one if it's red or not. I just quickly had a quick look as the game's finished, and I think, yeah, 66. Pedro, as I said, on the bench. But for me, I had Mikalenko. I started him. That's how grim
Hmm.
my defense was. But I didn't get no jam points, Braz. I didn't get the Pedro off the bench. At one stage, I was hoping Jimenez, go and have a rest. You've got Arsenal next. Have a rest.
He
But
was, you know what happened in the game. I don't know if you're watching. He was about to come on, and
yeah,
then Fulham scored. And so I was like, oh, he's going to tell him to go back and sit down because he'd be like, we don't need you anymore. Now we need a defender.
no, I
But he
called him
came on
back.
anyway.
Yeah, he still brought him back. I know. I was thinking, oh, hello. I could get myself a little 5 points, or is it 4 points more? But yeah, overall, as I said, Praz, not too bad. So we're not going to moan too much. I think it was a decent week for both of us. Like you said, could have been better. A lot of people got Jamie Rogers points off the
Did
bench
you
as well.
have
Not just
Rogers?
Mikel. No, I don't. I have
I didn't
Semenyo.
either.
I have
Yeah.
Semenyo. I have the alternative, which yeah. In fact, let's get straight into my team. So I'm going to show you. This is how we're lining up this week. Currently, at the moment, I've got loads of dilemmas. So this is actually a perfectly timed discussion, Press.
Mm.
So first one you're going to see is the goalkeeper. So I've got Flappy versus Wolves, but of course I've got Sells, who's been good for me since I bought him in, but a difficult fixture, Manchester United, your boys.
Yeah.
In defence, currently got Lewis, Hall, and Gabriel, who's yellow flag. Let's hope he's going to be okay.
Yep.
In midfield, Palmer, Salah, Mbumo, Saka, and Semenyo.
You got Palmer captain. We need to come back to that. But
we are definitely going to
on.
come back 100%. That's definitely a big discussion point. Captaincy this week is we need to discuss that in detail. And up top, I've got Isaac and Pedro. Knowing my luck, Pedro will get his rest this week, and yeah, but let's see anyway. Currently, and on the bench, Sells, Raul Jimenez, Mikalenko, and Greaves. I've got 2 free transfers, Pras, and I've got 1.7 million in the bank. Now, I will tell you what I was thinking. I think I've got one transfer which is basically locked in. Maybe I'm not sure 100% who's going out, but the person I want coming in. So that is a defender. I think I'm bringing in Timber. Okay. Right? So I'm bringing Timber in. I'm more than happy. I know I've missed these points last week. No problem. I still like him for the upcoming fixtures. Okay. Yep. Who to leave though, Praz, is the first one. Believe it or not, I'm not sure. I mean, they could all be sold, but I'm thinking Mikalenko, even though he's only 4.3 million and he gave me a gorgeous 11-pointer, I think his fixtures are turning.
Yeah.
Lewis has been poor, Praz, but part of the back of my mind, I still think Manchester City. You never know. If he gets his spot, they're going to keep some clean sheets. They kept one this weekend.
Yeah. And like I've mentioned, I think in this pod before, across the Christmas period, now Man City leaks have dried up a lot. But game week 17, City are the first fixture after the deadline. Game week 18, City are the first fixture after the deadline. Game week 19, City are the first fixture after the deadline. Game week 21, City are the first fixture after the deadline. So there is that opportunity that if you can carry Lewis, there are some weeks that if you do hear he's starting, it's nice upside because those fixtures are actually glorious. The ones which are actually early kickoffs.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth looking at it or keeping him if you can.
I was thinking that even without, like you said, the early sort of potential team use to give me an extra bonus, I wasn't even going. I was just more thinking the only reason I would sell Lewis is to take the extra little bit of money out compared to Mikalenko, that little 0.4 difference, which is it's not much, but I think he's not going to be starting in my team now anyway with those fixtures. I'll be very.
I would take out Mikalenko.
Like
in my case, I'm doing Pinnock unless it's a value reason, right? Like if you couldn't get to Timber, then you would have to sell Lewis. Okay, you can do that, but
exactly.
Otherwise, get rid of Mikalenko.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there, Price. Totally in agreement. So that's the first sort of dilemma which I think we've kind of solved. I think it's pretty straightforward. The second one is a bit more trickier, and I'll tell you why. I was thinking Mbumo out. But he's struggled recently, Praz, hasn't he? I mean, returning wise, he's been incredible for us to start the season. We all love him. Cheap, excellent player. But I'm not quite sure. He's not really involved in attacking output at the moment. Not getting many shots off as well, which is a bit disheartening when you're an owner. And the fixtures are a bit of a mixed bag as well. So I was thinking to get him out. But it's the options though, Praz, and it's the part that maybe you can shed some light. I was doing some scouting tonight actually because we're recording straight after the Tottenham, the last fixture is basically on Thursday night, and I was doing some scouting on Mitoma.
Yeah,
he's one of the options I was thinking. But I was thinking of Chelsea's Madueke. I got scared via Maresca's statements and the minutes, but I like Chelsea. They're flying. He's a good price. He's one option, Praz. I was thinking going back to Rodgers, believe it or not, and take that money. I was actually thinking that carry 2 cheap midfielders, and
But if you go doon to Rodgers, why wouldn't you just get Trent for Lewis or for Mikalenko? Can you not do that?
That could do it. Okay, so now you've unpicked another dilemma. So I've still got the bias price. Don't forget, I carried Trent nearly all season price. He gave me 0 for the last 8. Remember, so I sold him. Obviously,
you watch your defense week in week out. They're as good as Arsenal this year.
No, we've been incredible. I think Arsenal would still be a little bit better. I think now.
You asked people in game week 9, they were selling Raya. Raya dropped in price. Remember? Like
I remember, you got yourself a nice deal there, Press. No, they're both excellent defenders, excellent defenses anyway. If I'm honest with you, I just think the Trent one you're saying it was on my mind as well, or maybe even a Van Dijk. But I'm really hot on Arsenal for the next, I think 5 fixtures, Press. If we look at the fixtures, if I bring them up, I really like them, Press.
Bring them up. Let's look at it. Let's talk about it. Let's compare Arsenal with Liverpool. Okay, so clean sheet odds for Liverpool this week are higher than Arsenal.
Yeah, because
it's Everton versus Fulham, right?
Yeah.
Next week they should be both good. Arsenal are home to Everton, and Liverpool are home to Fulham, but they're both home games. But you could argue Fulham is better than Everton.
Fulham's definitely better. Definitely better.
Right. So let's give it to them. Then you have Spurs away. That's hard. I agree. But Crystal Palace away. Okay. Arsenal better clean sheet odds. Then Ipswich home versus Leicester home. Both incredible.
Both great.
So both are incredible. So both are good. And then you have Brentford away versus West Ham away, I would say West Ham are better. Now, Brentford are obviously decent at home, and West Ham could have a change of managers, so things could change in 5 weeks.
Yeah,
But these are not materially better than Liverpool.
they're pretty close. But then
Yeah.
you've got they're pretty close. I hear you. So you've got much more potential with Trent. I love him. You know, I had him all through. I've only got rid of him like 3 weeks ago, I think, or 2 weeks ago. But he's going to be managed. They're scared. They're going to manage him. The only problem, I suppose, what you could say, Praz, is on his favour is that Bradley. There's not much options, Bradley, and you saw the combination of Konza and Gomez.
That was rubbish.
It was poor. It was very poor. Not just offensively, which Trent. You think about Trent just for offensive, but Trent's been quietly very good defensively this season. Like we missed him defensively, believe it or not. So he will get the minutes, but he will be managed. With Arsenal, I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things when you give the bias because it's not your team. I do like him as a pick.
No, that's the look, Timber is a good pick, but I do like him, Praz, yeah. I just say in isolation, who are you picking that you could potentially now keep until you wildcard, right? That's how you should be thinking about picks.
Yeah.
I don't think Timber fits that criteria. Because things can change, like White can come back, California can get fit, and
But White sounds like he's out for a long time, though, Prez. At least for good.
January.
At least, yeah. That's like what 7 games
no, I'm
potentially.
Not, so let me be clear. I'm saying Timber is a great pick. We're comparing a great pick with a great pick. So I'm not saying Timber is a bad pick. I think Arsenal defense is great. I've been tooting Arsenal defense's horn since game week 12.
Yep.
And I think it's the best defense in the league. So no denying that. I think you should be getting on both at some point. You should be thinking about a path where you can get to an Arsenal defense and a Liverpool defense, not either or. And so that's where I'm trying to have that discussion where, unless you tell me that, look, if I go to Timber or if I go to Trent, I can't get to Arsenal defense. So it's really either or. And if I get to a Timber, then it can afford me that 2 million to do something else, which is spicy. I can get Raul Jimenez up to a striker that I want, or I can get something else. What will you do with that money is the question.
So there was, funny you should say that. I tried to look at a combination. I think one of the moves I considered, Praz, was actually spicy. And I'll tell you what it is. But it was 0.1, I think, short. Let me go back to my team. So I think it was Lewis to Timber. And was it? No, I can't. I've forgotten the comment. But basically, I was going to get my cheap striker up to Jackson. So that's going to be my difference. I was going to have two medium level strikers. I can't remember the combination. I was playing around today of different combinations. I was thinking, what could I do that's a bit different? The midfield's become pretty template. So I think if I went Rodgers, I think in midfield for Mbumo, maybe that was it actually. Raul to, Rodgers for Mbumo, Raul to, what's his name, Jackson. And then, something like that. I think I've done Prez. I looked at that as a combination. I thought, that's not bad, That would be something different. Because I'm struggling to find, like you said, an alternative in mid. I'm really struggling for that position.
There isn't an obvious one.
There isn't.
Mitoma is okay, but you see Brighton, right? They're not afraid to bench people when the things are tough. Like Jorginho got rested.
Yeah.
Welbeck didn't start. Like he had a minor thing, but I don't think João Pedro is like completely. He won't be rotated. Like they have a game in 2 days now. So Mitoma is fine, but Mitoma is no better than Semenyo, or no. He's also okay. So if you're going to get that player, he's okay. Like I don't want to bring him down as much, but
I totally agree, Praz. I'm in agreement. It does nothing really jumped off to me. That's why I even said to you, maybe even Rodgers. I really looked at that position, or this week. If there's nothing really, maybe I should just keep my cards in my pocket. Don't make that transfer if I'm not convinced. I like the Chelsea attack. I did say to you, and I tried to find an alternative. They've got so many good attackers, Praz. And I'm not scared they're going to rotate to the level we saw this week. No chance. No, I know that's not good. But that Madueke, what do you think of him as an asset? What do you think of him as a player?
So Madueke, I can get to him as well. So when I'll come to my team. Okay. But my problem with him is just reliability, right? I mean, there were some quotes after the game where they were saying, oh, Madueke did so well. And Maresca basically came and said, yeah, but when he does well, he stops putting in effort. At training, I see if he scored a goal, he's not as focused. So when he's saying that, he literally said, I had to drop him out of the Villa team.
He did.
And so the game he started is with the B team. So I don't expect Madueke to start Spurs. And then if he gets into that rotation where he's starting the midweek games, then basically you're not getting Premier League games out of him till they play Fulham on Boxing Day. So why would you chance it?
That's the problem. Well, I'm not sure if he's going to be in the B rotation. I still think he gives them the best balance on the right hand side, Perez.
Well,
I think when
they have Neto on the right
they've
and they
got
have Sancho on the left.
yeah, they've got no. Talent wise, I'll be honest. When I looked at their squad the other day, I was like, my goodness, it's some team there, and they're making a quiet surge for the Premier League this season. They've really impressed me. Been excellent, but I do like him as a player. I know he's a bit of a head down. Maybe he's equivalent of your Garnacho. Can be very frustrating at times, but can be incredible when they're on it. But
No,
that's
I
how
agree.
this.
He's a good pick, but with minutes over Christmas period, I just don't
Yeah,
like. You'll end
yeah.
up not playing him as much when you want, and you'll be playing Raul against the harder games. Like it's not worth it.
Nah. So then look already. So okay, if we've eliminated, so Matoma's a bit of a medium pick, nothing special, and then we've got Madueke, a bit of a risky pick, but potentially a nice pick. And then after that, Rogers, cheap but reliable, I suppose, for and playing for a good team, albeit they've been struggling.
I mean, the thing with Rogers is you get this week, he's home to Southampton,
Yeah, it's very good.
and
Yes,
then can you afford to have him first bench for the rest of like 3, 4, 5 weeks because his fixtures are very tough after this week.
yeah, that's the
If you are
problem.
happy to play Raul, or you can basically upgrade Raul to somebody like Strand Larsen when he plays Ipswich and I think Leicester that he's
Yeah.
got coming up. Maybe that's an option. So I will have a midfield which is basically Palmer, Salah, Rogers, Saka, Semenyo. That's what when I'll come to my team, I'll explain.
Okay, so he
So
was.
that's what I'm basically going towards because I think Rogers and Semenyo are just cheap. They're boring. They won't get points every week, but they're fine. They're okay.
They're good picks. No, they're good picks, Braz. They are. They're nice. They just sit there nicely. Like you said, you can rotate them. And they play good minutes and play for good teams. Bournemouth today, very impressive again, Braz.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very impressive.
People will look at it and say, "Oh, Semenyo was too wide or whatever." It's game state, man. Some games
Exactly.
they have to be wide. You know, he was for 40 minutes he was on the same side as Son. It's
Yeah.
not easy being and Brendan Johnson because he was playing on the left. Semenyo
Yeah.
had a job to do. Maybe in other games when he's home to Ipswich or away to Ipswich, it's not as difficult and he can actually.
Exactly that.
So it's fine. He's a decent pick, and Rogers the same.
I'm in agreement with you, Braz. Totally in agreement. That's why Semenyo, remember, I think last week was a video the week before. I can't remember. I was in that position. One had to go. And I was like, I'm going to keep Semenyo. I was happy with that. And I don't regret that. Even like you said, today's match, watching him may be a bit frustrating. But even then, he created an incredible chance for Tavernier. You should have put it away.
Yeah.
So
and if you look at, sorry, complete.
No, that's cool. I was going to say to you, Praz, he could have walked away with an assist, even though, like you said, in a difficult fixture.
If you go back to fixtures and look at Rogers' fixtures, basically you need to solve for the next 3 weeks after, which is basically he's Forest away. You don't really want to play him for that. Then Man City and then Newcastle away. You don't really want to play him for those 3. But after that, again, Villa's fixtures are incredible. So it's not a bad shout to actually just say, okay, I'm going to keep him as my first bench option and then use him over the period. And I think you should consider it, especially because he can enable other things. And one other name to talk about is Ahmad from Man United. I think he'll be first choice right wing back, even though there was some speculation that Dalot could play there eventually when Euro is back and Mazraoui is not needed in centre back. But Ahmad has been excellent.
He's been very good. He has. He's impressed me, Praz. Yeah.
But given how Amorim has started, even if he's excellent, he may not play every game. And the games he plays, he may not play even 60 minutes. Then you compare that to a Rogers where he's playing like 80, 90 minutes. He's getting the odd goal when you need him for easy fixtures. He's a better first bench where at least minutes are more predictable.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. I do. You know what? I was trying to look at the Man United players and I watched a couple of your games and he's impressed me from the bunch. Yeah, I do like him, but in a way, he's a midfielder playing a wing backs. You feel like you're getting conned out of position in the wrong way, but still very attacking. He's been arguably one of your better players in the last couple of games, but I haven't considered him for this week. No, Press. I'll be honest with you. No, it's the players I've said to you, and after that, there isn't no one else. I looked around it,
but this change is quick, right? This is what my one concern that. We're taking money out of midfield as our fourth midfielder. A lot of people are doing that this week. It takes one player to put their hand up. Like, let's say Bruno scores a brace and he starts playing up, in the 10 again. And then you're like, oh shit, what have I done? I have now, I need to afford him. How do I get it back? So there is that concern that I have. But at the same time, like in my case, there are options. Like in 3-4 weeks, if I want to sell Isak after he's played his 3 beautiful games, I can. I don't want to, but if I have to, Like in my case, I have instead of Raul, I have Cunha. Cunha can come
Yes.
down. That'll give me $1.5 million if I bring him down to a cheaper midfielder, cheaper striker. Eight Nuri has been like farming value for nothing. No points, but value has like increased. So he's now 4.7 or 4.8, I think. So selling him I can get some money out there. So it feels like okay. But
I think Paris is where we're going to put our money, because if you've gone down this route, which I've eventually got closer to your team now when I got rid of Haaland, stuck almost to find that, whether I don't want to say the word differential, but just stuck to find something extra. Like the differences between a lot of our teams, Praz, is me and you. If we've got Isaac, some have Jackson. Stuff like that. Small little differences now is where it's at now. Some have double Arsenal and one Liverpool. You know what I mean? There's not much to differentiate the teams, and I am really struggling to move the money, like you said. Trent was an afterthought. Maybe, as I said, the bias because I had him for 8 weeks and done nothing. But I know he's going to be popular in the next couple of weeks because you saw his performance, Praz, when he came on. Yeah, very good. You see the difference he makes. I think he's got 2 assists in his last 2 games and he hasn't even started.
Exactly.
We know what he's about. We know he's the record holder for assists for defenders in the Prem. He's just a machine. But yeah, maybe I do need to look at that. Maybe I could go Rodgers. But let's finish on that point before we come to your team, Prez. So do you think at the moment, so I think I'm very hot on Timber. I think I'm going to go there, Prez, if I'm honest with you. I do believe that. I think I'm going to go for that this week, Prez. But
makes sense.
Do you think the Mbumo move, as the other ones are not so appealing, do you think I'll just give him this week and wait?
I think so.
Have 2 transfers?
I think so. That was going to be my final advice. Like, you don't have to sell him if you have no obvious replacement, especially because you need that player to play this week, right? So like there is one school of thought that just says give him even a couple of weeks, like if you need, like, see it out. There could be an injury that changes your path. There could be a different player that you want. Next week you'll have 2 more free transfers. You can reduce Mbumo and take Raul up to the Jackson thing that you were talking about. You could do so many things next week.
So many,
always better to wait. So I would just say Mikolenko to Timber, and then just chill.
I think that's possibly the move. Maybe Mbumo to Rodgers and just gamble on the Southampton. I know there's talk, and we know there's potential rotation for everyone in the Christmas period. So basing your team too much around that is suicide. But I do think maybe to capitalize on that and leave the money in the bank for the next move. I don't know. Maybe another, like you said, a Liverpool defender or another attacker, improve Raul Jimenez. I don't know. I'm stuck on that move. I'm gonna sleep on that move, present, and see.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But what do you reckon the goalkeepers? Let's finish on my team, the goalkeepers, Praz, first. What do you reckon?
You don't have to do something like if you were a rich man with high team value. I could say, look, get Allison next week. Like get your Liverpool defense and sort it, or get Trent for this guy and then get Raya. Basically, that's my team. So basically, that I would recommend you to get a keeper which you're happy with, because sells. How many weeks in the next few weeks are you going to play sells?
Not much, man. The fixtures are not great. The fixtures are not. I know. I've had my joy from him, to be fair, and it's not looking good, Praz, for me. If you look at their fixtures there, look.
I mean, it's not too bad. They're still a good defense. Like, they kept Haaland out again. So I don't think I would say out of all the keepers, he's the one I've been most jealous of, like people who went on sells, because I was too afraid on rotation and things like that. But look, Man United away, you don't want to play him. Villa home, you could play him. Brentford away, you could, but I wouldn't expect a clean sheet. Spurs at home. Now, Spurs didn't score today, but they are a good team.
Yeah.
Then he's fine again. So next 4, if you can get Fabianski to cover you, maybe it's fine. Like, you don't need to panic.
True. And what about this one then, Price? This one's maybe it's too boring. There's not much potential points in it, but just to fix the defense this week, 2 transfers. So Timber comes in, and another cheap one goes out and bring in someone to Chelsea, like a Chelsea defender. They've got excellent fixtures.
Yeah, but you want to play Lewis this week. You want to play Timber and Gabriel. So why would you fix your first bench?
Well, thinking not the first bench, but maybe start him. Chelsea going forward, like going not this week. They're playing Tottenham, but eventually after that, Praz, eventually they're going to be. And I still might have a risk. What if they don't play? What if Lewis again is benched? I mean, he has been one of the weaknesses this season for them, Praz.
Yeah, but he has got a rest.
Poor.
They have only a 2-day rest period. Ake is out. Akanji was taken off at halftime because he had something. Stones is out. They literally have to play him and Lewis and Diaz and Guardiola. There's no one else.
Yeah. Or Sanchez in goal.
Sanchez,
I know.
he didn't even start.
No, but short Praz. No way. Surely that's not good. That was a one-off.
Let me tell you about Chelsea defense. I am now completely off Chelsea defense because look at the fixtures very closely. Okay, let's look at Chelsea's fixtures. Now, attack, they're great. Like Jackson's great, Palmer's great. Let's look at Chelsea's fixtures. Away to Spurs.
Yep.
Okay. Home to Brentford, I think, is the one fixture where you have to get a clean sheet, even though Brentford attack is okay. So, because then you're away to Everton. Okay, that's nice,
good
but
fixture. It's good
it's an
fixture
away game.
Yeah.
Home to Fulham is the midweek. You saw what he did this midweek. So midweek, Colville is not safe. Sanchez is not safe. Nobody's safe. Then it's away to Ipswich, away to Crystal Palace. So in the next 5 games, if you remove Fulham at home, 4 are away.
Yeah.
So that's my problem with Chelsea, and they're not that great anyway.
They're not that great defensively. I'm in agreement with you, even player-wise, not just system-wise and how they're defending, but just they've not been that great defensively. I think, to be fair, if their defense and goalkeeper was solid, Praz, I think we'll be talking about them as like potential challenge, up there with Liverpool and Arsenal, but we're not talking about them as that because I think when we look at their defense and their attack, we're still not convinced. Sorry, defense and goalkeeper, we're not convinced. But anyway, these were just options I'm throwing out there because I'm thinking, I still look at my defense and I think it's still pretty ugly. Like when you look at it, it's still, especially if Gabriel, and also Prez, I've got to base it on what if Gabriel doesn't play again?
This is an issue. This is an issue. Then put Greaves first, second on bench.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Greaves, by the way, nearly scored in the last game, Prez. I don't know if you saw that.
I know.
Did you see that? Yeah,
he came on for me.
Yeah, he nearly scored. But yeah, I think that's the team. I think that's all my dilemmas. I think we can focus. There's only one more thing we can discuss. We can discuss it on your team if you want. Is the captaincy?
No, where are you?
I'm thinking the obvious one, and even the predicted points, looking at the scout members areas, is Salah. He's flying at the moment. The guy's doing magic. But I'm tempted to go against it. Combination of how Chelsea are playing really well and watching Spurs. Seriously, watching Spurs makes me think there's something in this for Chelsea. That's my honest take, Prize. I'm actually considering it. Whether I hold the nerve, I'm not sure. And the Liverpool game, I'm not sure if it's going to be as easy people think it is. It's the last ever Merseyside derby at the ground. Okay. They've just come off a really good win. Yes, I know it was poor Wolves. I know they're a terrible team, but they're going to be buoyed a little bit. And Dyche, they're gonna go in there with some heart. That doesn't mean they're going to win or do anything, Prez. But I'm just thinking it might be a bit more trickier than people think it's going to be, that game.
But then Spurs can also have a game where they show up, right? Like now Son is rested. Now, Porro is rested. They have had obviously a bad result, but they beat Man City. They drew to Arsenal. So
but they beat Man City
very difficult. What I'm saying is that they're a Jekyll and Hyde team. And for me, the upside is similar. Like Spurs could capitulate. Everton could as well. Everton have had games where they absolutely give up. If there's an early goal, that's a 4-0 game. So there is upside there. There is downsides. Like you said, Everton can on their day be really solid. Spurs on their day can be solid. Both are derbies in their way. It's not the same for Chelsea and Spurs, but still. But you're forgetting the magic. Like last 2 weeks I've captained Palmer and it has been pain. Like watching Salah just bang in the goals. He's on a streak which is unbelievable.
It's frightening.
And if he's also on expected points or on expected goals higher, no part of me wants to take on his form and maths. Like you can take on one. You can take on one where you say, okay, Jesse Lingard is doing really well. The Excel models are really low on him, but I like form. But here you have a guy who's on form and the models are telling you he's the best captain. Dude, you don't mess with that.
This is the top projected goal scorers I've got on the screen now, Prez. This is Salah's up there. Look, Palmer's not too far behind him.
Yeah, but he's higher. Like that's
there's no dispute in that. I'm totally with you, Prez. So
who's keeping a clean sheet in that game? Salah or Palmer? Like Liverpool
Salah.
Or Chelsea? Who's not?
Yeah, so Liverpool's got the better. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So he's got slightly higher goal scoring odds and much higher clean sheet odds. Yeah. Salah's higher in expected points. Simple.
Definitely. Yeah, he is. He is. Like you said, he's definitely higher. And what he's doing at the moment, Perez, I'm watching him, obviously a Liverpool fan, and I'm a big Salah fan. But there are games even I'm laughing, but you don't mind it when it's your team that he's literally doing nothing. And then he just turns up for 15 minutes, Praz, and he gets like against Newcastle. He literally should have had a hat trick and an assist. But the first half, it's just fascinating sometimes. You know, that's why we love it, I suppose. So I'm hearing you, and I'm trying to put an argument against it. Maybe because my start to the season has been really poor, and I'm trying to think, where can I make gains, Praz? You can stay steady and just keep plucking away here and there, which I'm
but not here and there. Your team looks great.
It looks
getting Timber and Gabriel are your edges. Having a good goalkeeper is your edge. Having Rico Lewis starting and scoring a 15-pointer this week is your edge.
Maybe I'm
you don't
being
have
too
to
greedy.
go different.
I'm thinking different seating captains at times. This year I'm gonna try and take it on at times. I know it sounds I know
fair. Look, there will be other weeks. All I'm saying is don't have to do it when it is you're taking on form. Like very heavy form. Like
yeah.
And EO, like a lot of EO. So of course it's good for you if you want to catch up. Yeah, this is the chart I was talking about. So if you look at this is basically those goals odds converted into points.
Yeah.
So he's basically 10% ahead of Palmer.
Yeah.
Just on goals. You could say, okay, Palmer has better assist potential, so he will catch up a little bit to Salah, which I can buy. But Salah is also assisting a lot. Like and bonus, there's no difference in their bonus. And Salah has better clean sheet odds. So overall, Salah is better this week, like by a small margin. So if you want to try to see if you can get lucky in terms of,
it would
Salah
be rolling. It would be rolling the dice, Praz. 100%. I'm in agreement. Maybe as well, Praz. Do you take any early kickoff rubbish, or you don't care about that? The fixture's the fixture. End of.
No, but what I do take from it is that Liverpool have played Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, and so they could be minutes managed. They could be a game where Salah is basically in this game. If they're 2-3-0 up, then he's taken off on the 70th minute. But if they're 2-3-0 up, he's had probably a goal and an assist.
I was about to say, yeah. His involvement in ratio at the moment is like 70%.
Yeah, whereas Palmer should be higher because he won't play midweek.
Yeah, Palmer's minutes will be there. I mean, I'm trying to make a case. I don't think there's many other options. I did Saka against Fulham. Doesn't seem the most appealing. If you owned Haaland, maybe you could gamble again and go for him, but we don't have that option, me and you. There isn't much. I did flirt a little bit, Praz, with Isaac, but Brentford, that fixture's not there. Next week will be interesting.
Next week he has Leicester at home.
I was about to say to you, Praz, he's in my contention, so we'll leave that for next week. But this week I did think about that. Is Brentford's record, is it the home record that's good and the away record that's poor? I can't remember. Was it the away?
Correct.
Okay.
They're good at home. So this is why, and Newcastle are traditionally bad away. So I don't think it's a great it's good. Like I like it, like owning him, but I'm not gonna captain him.
No. So realistically, that's where I don't have another option, Brad. So if I don't go Palmer, I'll go Mohamed Salah. It's as simple as that. And by the sounds of it, you sound pretty locked in. In fact, that's a good segue. Let's get into your team, Prez.
So I've got Raya in goal. I've got Rico Lewis starting, and Gabriel, and then I've got Pinnock here, who will become Trent. So that is locked. It's going to happen tomorrow.
That's your move this week, Prez. Yeah, definitely.
Yep, Pinnock to Trent is locked. Yep. And so that's happening. Saka, Salah, Palmer. Boomo is going to come down to someone. So I have a similar dilemma to you.
Okay.
I'm just going to get Semenyo. Like I think he's fine. He's not the best option. He's fine. And I think in time, I want to convert Semenyo into Eze because I like then having Eze, Saka, Salah, Palmer. And that would basically be a good midfield. And then my front line, Cunha, Isak, João Pedro, nothing to change there. And the idea would be I might bench Semenyo instead of and play Rodgers. I'll see what noises we get from Emery. But Rodgers looked all right. He got good minutes. He was subbed off on the 85th minute.
Yeah.
So if he's home to Southampton, maybe that's slightly better than away to Ipswich. Maybe.
So your concern is just the minutes. Otherwise, I think the fixture. I think I prefer Rodgers to Southampton if I had to choose between them, Prez. But is it just the minutes potentially what's making it the other way around?
Yeah, because he has played now. He started the last 2 games.
He did.
He played 85 minutes, and Villa also had a Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday game, and they play Leipzig on Tuesday. So they have a very bad turnaround time. So I'm expecting Duran to start.
Yeah, and you heard Emery's comments.
What was that?
He said about him needing a rest. He said it before the last game.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I benched him.
Yeah. Oh, is that why you?
Yeah. No, I mean, I had a dilemma But basically, my thinking was that Duran is going to play one of these games. So I
Yeah.
took a punt that it's going to be that one. It could be this one. So
Yeah.
if again Emery's talking about I'll have to give players a breather and things like that, then maybe Rogers is on bench. But I don't mind bench points, man. People fixate on it too much. It's okay. If Semenyo gets a blank, Rogers gets another 8 points. That's a 6 point loss. It's not the end of the season. So
Yeah.
I'd rather have good players as my first bench because sometimes things happen. Like what happened to Jackson, what happened to Welbeck. Things can happen during this
Yeah.
period. It's okay to have a good first bench.
Totally agree. So, okay. So this week, in fact, so the Trent one, like you said, is locked in. The Mbumo move is not locked in this week, Press, or it is locked in this week.
I can get Kudus. I can get Kulusevski. I can get even ESR because I don't need to play ESR this week. I can play Rogers.
Yeah.
I can get. I'm not going to get Iwobi. I can even get Enzo. Like Ahmad, Enzo.
Yeah.
So there's lots of options. But basically, my problem is next week I don't want to play Rogers, right? So I need a guy who I don't need to play this week, but from next
Okay.
week I definitely need to play. So
Okay.
another one I can get is Kulusevski. I could do Kulusevski, but again, I'm like, is Kulusevski that much better than Semenyo when Semenyo has good fixtures? Like, I'm just forcing it. So I just might go Semenyo.
And you would do it this week? You would?
Yeah, I'll do both the moves.
Yeah.
I need some funds from Mbumo down to afford
Okay.
Pinnock up to Trent.
Oh, so they go together. Okay, I get your point now. Yeah, that makes sense now for the Trent move. But you're definitely locked in with the Trent Press. That one, you want that. That's where your money's going to be going, basically,
100%.
straight there. Yeah.
100%.
Okay, that's a really good move, really good team as well. And no concerns with Cunha. Last 2 game weeks, I know Wolves have really struggled. They look like the next game, one of those managers could be in danger here, Prez. But
I mean, he's there for 3 more weeks. He's got West
yeah,
Ham, Ipswich, Leicester.
yeah,
See them out, and then we'll see. Like concerns, he plays for Wolves, man. They're not a good team.
they're
So
not. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
so he's not going to score 15, 17 points like he did in those 2 weeks. He's going to score a goal, maybe 2 in the next 3 weeks, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I think the reason I mentioned him, there was a lot of hype. Obviously, a lot of people jumped on him, and rightly so. He's an
I'm
excellent
happy
player.
to take the price rises.
Yeah, exactly. And lots of people, but the last 2 games, he's not really even hardly had any shots in the box. All the shots from outside the area, which means they have to be.
This is what he does, though.
Yeah,
This is what
exactly. No, he was overperforming those weeks. So I thought I'd put it to you to see what your opinion is. But I'm in agreement.
No, he's definitely going.
Yeah.
I've been saying since I bought him that he's only there till game week 17 or 18. So he's of a price now. He's what 7.1. It's ridiculous to pay that much money for a Wolves forward. So he's going to go in 3 weeks.
You're not concerned about Gabriel flagged because we don't know much information on it.
Then Aitnuri comes on. I think I'll have Aitnuri first bench. So or first defender. So Aitnuri is fine if he comes on. Like I'm not going to sell Gabriel.
No,
because he's nearly okay.
Yeah. Did we get any information on him? What happened for that game?
He said they were close and they should be in contention. That's as much as Arteta is going to say, right? They should be in contention for Sunday. So I think, we'll see. We'll see if he's okay. But no issues if he's out. Because he's not going to... unlikely he subs on, right? But my gut feel is he'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, the team's, as I said, the team's pretty solid. Trent's going to take it up another level. Hopefully the minutes are there. I mean, as I said, a Liverpool fan, we want him to be fit and firing, but yeah, the games are coming thick and fast now and they need to look after him. So yeah,
the good thing is you only have 1 Champions League now left until Christmas because the other one is the Carabao Cup week. So if he wants to give a rest, it'll be the Carabao Cup week. So I'm not too worried about his minutes. Like, in fact, one conversation as last thing we wanted to chat about, people were looking at Gomez before this week, but he was pretty bad.
He was bad. Yeah.
So this is why I wanted some taste of Liverpool defense. So it was going to be Van Dijk or Trent because I don't feel Gomez will start, but I don't know which games. Like he could miss out 1 or 2 between now and Christmas period. So
yeah,
I could still do it. Like next week, I could do Lewis up to Gomez if I still think that there's potential there. But I just want Liverpool defense now because they have good fixtures for next 10 game weeks. And they have shown that they're a solid team. This is not the Klopp Liverpool. And there is some upside. So people will say, why not Van Dijk? He's only 0.5 now, the difference. Like,
yeah.
Trent is better.
I mean, he's been very good attacking set pieces. He's he should do more.
As he always has been.
Yeah.
But we know year on year, Trent beats him on points.
Trent is. That's the reason I was so reluctant to sell him. If I'm honest with you, Praz, I really like Trent, as you know, as an FPL asset, and I still believe in him. Yeah, maybe I do need to think about bringing him back in. But yeah, overall, Praz, you look like you're sorted and you're captain. You tell me you're not even going to budge. So I think you're pretty locked in. Your 2 transfers will be gone. Does that leave you with any money? Or is that every penny goes if you do that?
No, 0.4 in the bank. So I can
Okay.
still do. I can do 8 Nuri to Gomez if he's looking fine, like in 3-4 weeks. Or ideally, what I want to do is Cunha to Mateta in game week 19 because they play home to Southampton, I think. And maybe 8 Nuri to our friend Munoz. You know, Munoz, the
Yeah.
wing back
Yeah.
from Palace.
Yes. Yeah.
So their fixtures turn.
You reminded me of him, Praz, because last game week, I nearly, was it this game week? Last game week, I nearly jammed a whole clean sheet and he scored in the last minute.
Yeah.
Praz, you reminded me of him. Why? I was thinking, oh, this could be actually turn out to be all right here. And then he popped up. But yeah, okay. So you're pretty good. Okay, before we finish off then, Praz, I think we've discussed that was good actually. You've helped me more than I've needed to help you. Any threats to our teams, players that we don't own this week? The obvious one, I think, is Jackson, fully rested, and Southampton. That's one of the biggest, I suppose. It is, isn't it, Price, for us this week? Non-owners, I think.
As in Spurs. So he's playing away Spurs. But yeah, he should be
sorry.
good.
Yeah, I got the wrong fixture. I keep thinking Southampton.
That was last week. He missed that. And that was lucky, by the way. So I, in a way, we got lucky that he didn't
We did luck out there.
He could have had a couple of goals at least in the way they were playing.
Did you see their XG, Praz? Chelsea's in that game, what they done to them.
I did.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. But he's on 4 yellows now. So yeah, people, it's still going to continue till Chelsea have played 19 games. So I'm okay. Look, I knew he can do well, but Isak can also do well. This is what I basically said in my videos as well, that other people can also score points. So it's fine.
And did you like that move I suggested, Prez, as a differential? Say instead of me going like you, potentially buffing up the defense like a Trent or a Van Dijk, I tried to find a way to turn around into Jackson.
Yeah, could do. I think they've got great fixtures as well. Like ideally, what I would like is that you wait for a couple of weeks and then do it after Jackson's 5th yellow. Or if he doesn't get it, then closer to game week 19, because otherwise you're giving yourself a headache during the Christmas period if he gets his 5th yellow.
If he does, yeah.
I don't love that, but it's fine. Yeah, if you can turn him into like, he's a good pick, man.
He is.
There's no doubt
really
about it.
He is. Yeah. I suppose Watkins, Praz, just before we finish off, he's a good pick this week as well. Perfect fixture. His probabilities actually, look, you can see him up there on the charts and stuff like.
But this is the last week where he's viable, because after this 3 tough games, and then it's again rotation period. He's playing 65 minutes, which is not ideal. 65 to 80 minutes.
Yeah.
Being on pens helps, but it was a terrible pen. So I don't know if Tielemans takes it back or whatever, but it was good to see him on pens. Yeah, he'll be on the radar. So again, this is why I like the Isak slot. You can maybe upgrade. If you downgrade your Cunha slot or your third defender to a cheaper striker, you can take Isak up to Watkins if you want, like at some point when their fixtures improve, which is after 4 game weeks. So there are options, man. There's good players in this game.
Totally agree. All right, Praz, thank you very much. It's a quick turnaround, obviously, with the games coming up this weekend. So I think we've covered everything else. Is there something you wanted to discuss, Praz, or are you good?
No, that's it, man. Good luck. You want games to come thick and fast, but then after the weekend finishes, you're like, okay, give me a break now. Now I don't want to think about a deadline now for 5 days. So I'm quite looking forward to like having the deadline and then having a week of no thinking.
Totally agree. No problem. All right, listen, Praz and everyone else, make sure you like and subscribe to all that good stuff. And Praz, I wish you good luck, even though you don't need it. I wish you good luck.
We all need it forever.
Oh boy, I need it. Right. And good luck anyway. I'll see you next time. Take it easy.
See you.
Bye-bye.